Just do something to tell you who I am, you know? Yeah.
So lately I've been on a bit of a kick on really trying to improve or to progress my push-ups. Going with more of the convict conditioning ideas of how do I get closer and closer to that one-arm push-up sort of deal. And I really don't want to fall into the trap that I see so many people do where they're like, check out my sweet one-arm push-up, and they splay their feet wider than the English Channel, and they got their one arm here, and their arm bends like, you know, this much, and they got their body like twisting. It's like, I got the shoulder close to the ground. Wasn't that awesome one-arm push-up? It's crap. I see those things and I'm like, oh God, I do not want to be like that. My goal for the one-arm push-up is literally like you lay down on the floor, feet are together, hand is underneath you, one arm behind you, and you make it look dead on exactly like a regular push-up, just with one arm. No technical modifications whatsoever, except for maybe hand placement. That's it. That's what I want, because I never see anybody do that. So I figure that's got to be pretty freaking sweet. So anyway, I realized very quickly that if I keep my hands at like this width, I'm never gonna get there because the arm is out to the side and there's a tremendous amount of torque and twist that happens requiring the splayed feet and everything. And it's so much more difficult that way. And I started to realize, well, if I have my hand more on my center line, then that'll be much easier from that torquing perspective. So I started working more towards closer hand positions, but I started noticing tenderness in the wrists and the elbows, all these sorts of things. So I figured I'm just gonna go right to the source, and I wrote up Paul Wade, author of Convict Condition, and I said, what do I do about this? Am I doing something funky or anything? And he wrote back, and I wanted to share that with you. Number one, he writes back, I bet you're used to shoulder width exercises like the old dips, bulk up the torso and stuff, but they do little to condition the elbows, wrists, and forearms and the joints, which is right. I've been doing a lot of the wider stuff, haven't really been focusing on the narrow stuff. The tendons and everything will take a little bit longer for them to catch up, okay? Go careful. We're dealing with leverage, so even a slight inwards movement of the hands during a one-arm press will exponentially increase the forces thrown on the wrist. All right, so basically it's like as we're getting even a little closer in, there's a lot more tension on the joints to deal with. Okay? I always use an oblique hand position, fingers pointed slightly towards the opposite shoulder. Okay, I started doing that a little bit. I think one of the reasons I gave up on that was because I was doing too much of a twist. So ever so slight is what I'm finding works well. Progression. An inch, a half inch each week or weeks. Tendons adapt slowly, slower than the muscles. So be patient. So instead of saying, okay, I was here, now I'm trying to do them like this, I'm literally just tiny, itty bitty little increments each week. And finally, he goes down to say, it's worth it. Once your wrists and forearms will accommodate such powerful close movements, you can kiss forearms and elbow pain goodbye. Good. And it'll allow you to express much greater strength in the shoulder width stuff like your dips and your push-ups. So if you are looking to really get serious about the advanced push-ups, I hope that helps you, and let me know how your journey is coming along down below. Thank you, Paul, for your input. Thoughts down below. Till then, be fit, live free.